It's the high school game of the week on 23 ABC, Friday Night Live. Brought to you by Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the biggest little credit union in town.
Welcome to Friday Night Live. I'm Stephen Hicks. We're here at West High School for the second FNL of the year, and you'll notice something going on behind me, something we've never seen before on the show. The game is still going on. Now, there's two factors that contributed to that. The first one is this hot air that we've seen, this bad air quality. JV games were pushed back an hour, and because of that, the varsity game here didn't kick off until about 8:30, 8:45, and that's why the game is still going on. There's under 2 minutes to go. We'll get to the full highlights in just a second, but why we're here at West, last season they had a disappointing 2-8 year, but they got things going early this year with a big win against Porterville, scoring almost 50 points. So could they make it 2 in a row and get things started going into this season? Let's go to the highlights. First game of the season for the West Vikings as they run out of their tunnel, excited and ready to get things going. Captains meeting at midfield. Both teams would rely on their rushing offense early on, so this play action from quarterback Deion Perkins to find his tight end Hugo Martinez worked to perfection, and Chavez on the board first. Now on the ensuing kickoff, Josh Boyd would come up with the play's biggest play at that point, running into some tacklers and then breaking free on the outside to pick up some huge yards, getting West inside the 40, and their offense would keep that momentum going. This little run around to Jalen Fisher on the left side as he breaks free on the sidelines. West was really pounding the ball inside early, but that play opened things up on the outside. Chavez again driving on West late in the first half, and this is Perkins rolling out of the pocket to find his receiver Jose Fernandez wide open. He would just walk into the end zone, and Chavez would go on top in this one, take a commanding 14-0 lead, and it looked to be all Chavez at that point. Under 2 minutes to go, West would drive the ball into Chavez territory. Jalen Fisher finding Boyd there for a good completion, and the thing is, he gets out of bounds and stops the clock. Later in the drive, Fisher again rolling out. This time he decides to tuck it and run himself, and it looks like he'll just go out of bounds and stop the clock, but instead, his coaches were infuriated by this. He ran inside, and the clock kept going. Coaches had to burn a timeout. So under 10 seconds to go, Fisher again drops back. This time he's going to go for the end zone, and a flag for pass interference would make it first down for West. But then final play of the half, Fisher decides to go for the long ball, and that would end the half. And actually, that would end the half 14-0. It just went final here, 40-7. Chavez with a big win over West. And we'd like to apologize to number 4 that was actually Christopher Coleman who was making those big plays at the end of the half for West. Well, normally at this time, we would be talking to the coaches, but as you see behind me, they're wrapping up, they're exchanging handshakes. But we've got an action-packed show coming up for you. Coming up next, we've got an in-depth look at West High School. They're getting ready to celebrate 50 years of football. You don't want to miss that. Stay with us. It's Friday Night Live here at West High School.
Friday Night Live, brought to you by Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the biggest little credit union in town.
One thing about living in Kern County is all these great rivalries.
East High! West High! North High! South High!
But despite all these rivalries, there's still one thing we can all agree on. Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our new auto rates as low as 1.24 APR up to 48 months or 1.74 up to 66 months. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Mix and match any two for just $5.55. Only at Carl's Jr. Now there's a new way to go all natural with natural hand-picked mushrooms and natural Swiss cheese. Introducing the Mushroom and Swiss All Natural Burger, only at Carl's Jr.
Blackish is back with one
Gold digger.
shocking
She messing window broke.
word.
Where did Jack get an idea to say a word like that in the first place?
But she messing with the broke. Oh my God. Blackish premieres Wednesday, September 23rd on ABC.
The Goldberg season premiere is getting a little risky.
Dang it! Mom waxed the floor. I'm going again.
They're back in business. Wednesday, September 23rd on ABC.
Which truck brand do you think offers best-in-class HD towing, best V8 horsepower, and has Motor Trend's 2015 Truck of the Year? Ram.
Chevy.
What do you think?
A Ford.
Oh.
Here's the answer. That's the Chevy Silverado HD, the Chevy Silverado, and the Chevy Colorado.
Chevy.
It's Truck Month. Now qualified buyers get 0% financing for 60 months. Plus find your bonus tag and get $4,000 cash allowance on select Silverado 1500 crew cabs in stock. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Extra, extra.
It's a new season, and we're going big. Only Mario's one-on-one with the two names grabbing every political headline.
I watch your show. I do.
Next Extra.
Monday at 6:30 on 23 ABC.
Welcome back to Friday Night Live. We're still here on the campus of West High School as the game is just wrapping up. Chavez won this one 40-7, but it was a close game in the first half. Chavez went on top early, 7-0, and then they added another touchdown right before the half. It was 14-0, but West battled at the end of that first half. They really looked like they were going to make it a game, but then Chavez really just absolutely ran away with it in that second half. Well, earlier in the week, we caught up with those at the program here at West. We are taking a look at their program as we do every week here on Friday Night Live, and it's a phrase heard throughout West football games by the PA announcer Alpha Nesbitt, not as much as they would like tonight, only scoring 7 points, but he said it at the beginning of the game. I'm looking at a sign right now that reads it, "You can't hide that Viking pride," and coming this October, it's that Viking pride that they're going to celebrate. Inside Viking Hall, a special group is planning to celebrate 50 years of West High School. Mike Butcher was a part of the football coaching staff from 1966 to 1979, long before the days of Kilgore Stadium.
We played wherever we could get a home field. Whether it was a Memorial or South High. We played a lot at South High. It didn't happen overnight, but coaches credit a strong physical education department for the sustained success throughout the 70s. If you were going to win the league and go to the playoffs, you had to go through West High. If you couldn't beat West, you weren't going to go. In the years since, there have been a number of successful players and coaches who got their start at West. Head coach Dallas Grider helped West dominate the Central section in the early 80s, leading them to back-to-back Valley championships. And one of Grider's players went on to be a successful coach himself.
You know, at that time, I mean, it was just a great program, a lot of discipline. I mean, a lot of things that, you know, I try to instill in our kids, the same things that Coach Dallas and his staff, you know, gave to us. And
Stan Green didn't play at West, but he went on to be a coach, and his time there had an impact on his personal life.
My son's named after two former students that were players of mine at the school, Nick Onaidia and Jimmy Lopez.
A number of Kern County schools have had players move on to the NFL, and at West, the Philadelphia Eagles' Ryan Matthews is held up as the gold standard.
Ryan Matthews in 2006 had a monster senior year. Fresno State, NFL draft pick. A lot of people associate him with West High, which has really been great for the school.
But long before he played on Sunday, the voice of the Vikings remembers Matthews like few can today.
And you see the kids on the field, they're little scrawny kids. You see them every day going to class. You don't think about them being professional athletes or even college-bound athletes.
Nesbitt is like many at West, who says the culture has kept him at the school and that he simply can't get away.
Happiness, we say, is a Viking victory. And so if I'm part of that, if I can make everybody feel better when they come to the football game, if I can call a game without being too partial, it's a good feeling for me, and it's my contribution to the school.
Now, through 50 years of Viking football, you've seen the ebb and flow of successful years and not so successful years, but really that could be said of any high school here in Kern County. And Coach Mark Camps is hoping that this year his group of seniors, they're healthy unlike last year, and so he's hoping they can lead them to maybe some of that success, that prominence that they had earlier in this Viking history when they went on to win those section titles, those Valley championships. Well, coming up, we've still got more in this show. We're going to take an in-depth look at some of the games going on across town and a special look at what the district did to pay their respects this September 11th. It's Friday Night Live here at West High. Stay with us.
Friday Night Live, brought to you by Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the biggest little credit union in town.
One thing about living in Kern County is all these great rivalries.
Bakersfield Christian! Carson! Stop now! Right here!
But despite all these rivalries, there's still one thing.
One thing!
We can all agree on. Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our new auto rates as low as 1.24 APR up to 48 months or 1.74 up to 66 months. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Can you feel my power? Sometimes you have to play dirty.
What'd you play?
get mine. To get filthy rich.
Oil, by God.
Blood and Oil premieres Sunday, September 27th on ABC.
Have you seen Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel, the nightcap for the right.
Yeah, that's Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel,
Emmy-nominated Jimmy Kimmel Live, weeknights on ABC.
Who says desirable can't also be responsible? With 46 standard safety features, the Lexus RX is proof that fun can be good for you. Lease the 2015 RX 350 for $399 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
Upgrade to the improved 23 ABC smartphone and tablet app.
Subway restaurants are the home of the footlong, and we're always improving for you. So we're bringing you the $6 footlong of the day. It's a different footlong sub each day of the week, like the oven roasted chicken, Subway Club, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and more. Served on your choice of freshly baked bread, fortified with vitamin D and calcium, then prepared with your favorite veggies. That's 4 servings of vegetables in every footlong, and it's all just $6. So stop by for your $6 footlong of the day. Subway, eat fresh.
Welcome back. We're still here at West High School for Friday Night Live, and you'll notice there's still a lot of action going on. Normally we're trying to have them keep the lights on for us. That's not the case tonight because of how this game ended. It ended just as we were starting the show. It's something that's never been done on Friday Night Live before, and there was a couple factors that played into it, as we said at the top of the show. Really, this extreme heat and the bad air quality pushed games back for JV across the county. At least here in Bakersfield, they pushed games back an hour, and that's why they started this one so late, around 8:45, 9 o'clock, and that's why this game is just ending. Other games are just ending, so you probably won't see it like this ever again. We wanted to have some sound from Coach Mark Camps, who lost this week at West, but unfortunately we're not going to get that. But again, this game took place on September 11th, and you know, it's a moment, a day that lives really in infamy in American history for the wrong reasons. But today, the Kern County High School District, they wanted to pay their respects for the terrible things that happened 14 years ago. Here's what we got.
Such a horrific day in our nation's history. We wanted to make sure we appropriately addressed it with our students and our fans.
14 years after the terrorist attacks, and still a promise to never forget. At every high school football game played across Kern County, players, cheerleaders, and officials wore stickers provided by the Kern High School District. It's a gesture fans took notice of.
14 years ago, I remember where I was at and hearing the news, and it was devastating. So 14 years later,
no return, so
I mean, it's still hurtful to this day.
While most in the stands remember the events of that day, many, if not all of those playing, were too young.
A lot of our kids that are in our high schools right now, that was 14 years ago. They might have been 1, 2, 3 years old, and I think it's important that we make sure that we let them know how significant that was.
On top of the stickers, at the 9/11 mark of the first quarter, a moment of silence. 14 years, and the wounds are still fresh.
It still chokes me up.
Many fans in attendance touched by the district's move.
Realize that even a community like Bakersfield can relate to effects from another part of the United States.
And that moment of silence at the 9/11 mark in the first quarter was really something we really haven't seen. You could hear a pin drop in the stadium. It was so loud as West was driving down the field, and they stopped the play because of that the plan that the Kern County High School District had planned, and it was a very cool, touching moment to see. Well, there were other games going on across the county. We want to show you some of those games right now. Centennial was 1-1 under Coach Brown. Head coach Steve Denon in his 34th year at Tehachapi. He's looked good leading those Warriors early to a 2-0 record. They lose to Centennial 25-7 across town. Frontier at Independence. A couple teams looking for their first victory of the year. We've seen how good Ridgeview looks early on this year, and 3 games in, Frontier put up the biggest fight to Ridgeview, falling by just a touchdown. And Frontier would win this one 38-7. Well, over at East High School, their athletic director, Ken Chapman, is starting something cool. He's looking to start a rivalry for schools on the east side. Those include East, Foothill, Highland, and Miramonte. The overall winner of those head-to-head matchups will they'll win the East Football Championship. They'll get a trophy. The first game in that contest, East wins over Miramonte 41-21, and then over in Taft, out in Taft, a couple of first-year coaches battling. Taft 2-0 to start the year. Norm Brown 1-1. Norm Brown 1-1 at North, and Taft hangs on to win this one 21-14, a close match there. Well, that's all we got here for Friday Night Live. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be here the rest of the season. Again, Chavez wins this one 40-7 over West. Take care.